28-year-old Cody Krause has been arrested and charged with murdering his grandmother with a hammer. The incident occurred at around 7 a.m. on the 14th of April 2022, when the authorities responded to a home located at 860 Kinmore Road in Peoria, Illinois, on reports of an assault. When officers arrived at the residence, they found an unresponsive body of an elderly woman lying on the living room floor, with her face and skull crushed in, and blood and human tissue splattered about the room. The woman was identified as 73-year-old Glenda Rutzer-Holtz, and she was officially pronounced dead at 8:23 a.m. An autopsy showed that Glenda suffered multiple severe blunt force trauma injuries and had sustained multiple defensive wounds throughout her upper extremities. Her injuries were reportedly consistent with being assaulted. Glenda's grandson Cody, who lived with his grandmother, was still holding the hammer and had blood on his jeans and boots, and was arrested at the scene. He told the authorities that he grabbed his grandmother by the throat and hit her lots of times with a hammer. He said that he became a monster and she wanted it, adding that he heard voices in his head, which stopped after his grandmother died. He then said it would be best if his entire family was dead. He's held at the Peoria County Jail on a $2.5 million bail and is charged with Glenda's murder. If convicted, he faces between 20 years to life in prison. This isn't Cody's first run-in with the law. Jail records indicate that Cody had been arrested in 2013 for driving under the influence of alcohol, and in 2014 for domestic battery and resisting arrest. 25-year-old Sean Higgins has been arrested and charged with murdering his roommate and dumping his body interstate. The events unfolded at around 8:31 a.m. on the 14th of April 2022, when 25-year-old Easton Ho was reported missing from a residence located at 2200 Morning Glory Circle in Troy, Ohio. Easton's roommates reportedly told authorities that Easton sent a strange text message to them at 2:45 a.m. and didn't show up for work that morning. At around 6:30 p.m, the authorities found Easton's Ford Flex vehicle, which was found in the parking lot of a shopping plaza at the intersection of Marshall and Stoops Roads in Kettering. The vehicle was covered in blood and the license plates had been taken off. Detectives interviewed Easton's roommates, including Sean, who allegedly admitted to killing Easton, and he was arrested. He told detectives that not only did he murder Easton, but he also removed his thumb so he could access his cell phone before dumping his body in Indiana. He said that he got an Uber from Kettering to get back home. Easton's cell phone was later recovered in a field in Troy, Indiana. At around 12:15 p.m. on the 15th of April, the authorities located Easton's remains in Indiana near a bridge on Greenville Creek near the Indiana-Ohio state line, which was turned over to the Ohio investigators. Sean is charged with aggravated murder, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, theft, and receiving stolen property. He's held at the Miami County Jail on a $1,515,000 bond. 22-year-old Dillian Bacon has been arrested and charged with fatally shooting his girlfriend, 21-year-old Megan Glasser, during an altercation. The incident occurred at around 2:30 p.m. on the 16th of April 2022, when the authorities responded to a mobile home in the 28,000 block of Sassafras Drive in Lebanon, Missouri, on reports of a woman shot. When deputies arrived at the scene, they found Dillian and his grandfather sitting on the porch, with Dillian's clothes covered in blood. He was crying and saying it was an accident. They found the lifeless body of Megan laying face down in a bedroom, with a single gunshot wound to her left temple. Dillian told investigators that he and Megan had been arguing, which they often did. He said while he was emptying his pockets onto a dresser, he grabbed a gun out of his pocket and began waving it around while yelling at her. He said she told him to put the gun away, and she took a swipe at the gun and it went off, but Dillian said he did not fire the gun on purpose. Two relatives of Dillian were at the home where Megan and Dillian both lived when the shooting occurred. Both Dillian's grandparents told the authorities they witnessed their grandson physically assault Megan in the past and tried to convince her to break up with him. Dillian was arrested at the scene and was booked into the Laclede County Detention Center on charges of murder and armed criminal action.